Hi, Phil from Driftworks here, and my buddy Jay. Welcome to another episode of the V10 M3 restoration project. So in the last episode you saw us fit this super lovely, super shiny VAC Motorsports dry sump kit.
Yeah, thank you America for making a good part.
It's awesome, yeah. Daily engineering, lovely bit of kit, and yeah, we've done the modifications required, including Jay's fabricated a lovely blanket
I
plate.
even made Craig put a nice pattern on top. Should have seen how grumpy he was about that.
Excellent. As I say, we already had the KMS parts, which is the intake to the engine for the oil. That's worked out lovely. All we had to do was fabricate the blanking plate, block off a hole in there, obviously remove the standard oil pump, a few other bits and pieces, but yeah, basically this is kind of ready to go back in for second phase mock-up. Is that what we'll call it?
Yeah, we're going to call it connecting the steering mock-up.
Yeah, I think so. So we're going to put this, in fact actually, haven't we got to do the crank seals? Should we do that first?
But do you want to do that now, or do you want to just try it first? I don't know, it's up to you.
Ooh, don't know. Got to remove some standard crank seals, which are brand new, obviously. Hack Engineering fitted a brand new set of crank seals for us, but the kit comes with what I'm guessing are more heavy duty ones.
Well, they look a lot steadier, they're metal ringed, aren't they?
Yeah, and that's basically to handle the vacuum that a dry sump system pulls. So we'll work that out one way or another. We might just land the gearbox on for now, get it back in the hole, get it back supported with just a bit of wood underneath the cross member to level up the engine where we think it needs to be.
We're not going to let the wood touch that sump, are we?
Trying to put some masking tape on it.
I don't know, I want to put a lot of things on it.
Yeah, I think we'll be alright putting a bit of wood on that. I think it will live to tell the tale. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll do that, get that in its original position where we fitted it the first time nearly 10 years ago. Yeah. But this time, hopefully it'll all work out with steering column and secret sauce headers.
And a turbo.
No turbos, Jay.
Oh no, kick the camera. Ah! Where's the car going?
The engine needs to go up. Right, come down a minute.
Yeah. There's a car. The car
needs
needs not
to come
fly
down.
away.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, if we held the car down, it'd probably be enough. I'm going to put my foot up here.
Yeah. I'll try and do the same without kicking the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a move. You should have left the camera miles away.
Look. No, don't drop it on your face.
Why not to?
Can't even see it. What's going on here? Why is it nowhere near?
There's a rack's running into the engine. And it's started. I don't know if it's too far over that way now.
Take the bolt out. We gotta suss this.
You on the car?
So we probably need to take the rack off. Rack off, mate.
Rack off, mate.
Okay.
The buggers.
So it's kind of just sitting on it already.
On the crossmember, is it?
Yeah.
Was that right? I don't. Do we need to check the angle of the?
Yeah, we definitely need to check angles and stuff like that. Yeah, it looks like it's just sitting here on the rack mount on that side.
Oh yeah, it's very close to it.
Yeah. That one. Looks like the car will come down or something. Will it come down? Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
That's it. Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
can we get the rack in? You know,
in there. No way. You want to see the face of someone who's absolutely gutted after spending £6 on what he thought was the solution to all of his problems.
Well, half your Stupid right-hand drive.
This is where a steering rack goes. And what we didn't realise is that the way the daily engineering oil pan is designed is that all of these scavenge valleys actually increase the size of the oil pan here. So there's actually like a, it's very hard to see here, but there's a big gap here, so that's extended that way. As it gets towards the front of the engine, i.e. closer to the rack, that bit gets bigger. So you can probably see it better here. So basically where the old oil pan width ended was about there.
It's got to be 5 centimetres or so at least, hasn't it?
Yeah, so in the worst position, like which is further forward than where my finger is there, we're talking about being, I don't know, well, I've measured it, haven't I? So very crudely, just to give us a rough idea, if you take a measurement from that bolt hole to the first point of contact, if you go perfectly horizontal there, it's 3.5 centimetres that you need. Go to the same bolt hole here, just shine that light, Jay, and then look at where 3.5 centimetres gets you and how much of this oil pan is extra after that.
What we need is a mirror image of this. You know, just
yeah, it's because the pump sits on this side, but all of the valleys for all of the scavenge areas in this
come this way.
Yeah, are on this
well,
side.
I guess that's because everyone else is left-hand drive, and that makes sense.
Yep. So yeah, you wouldn't have this problem if left-hand drive. No, I'm not willing to go left-hand drive. So what we're going to do now is we are going to use this to support the engine from the top on the chassis rails. We're then going to drop the cross member. We're then going to unbolt this belly plate, which is basically it's kind of like a 3-part. You got the light again,
yeah.
It's kind of like a 3-part oil pan. This is.
See all the oil ways.
Yeah. So we'll basically unbolt all of these, take this off, see where the oil ways are, and then I'll basically work out whether there's any way for us to remachine or reroute the required valleys over the top or something that gives us more clearance. But yeah, that way means that I am then chopping up a very expensive oil pan. But we've come too far. We're going to have a look now, aren't we?
I don't want to cut it up.
No, neither do I. But then we do have some pretty good machinists.
Yeah.
Martin is pretty incredible at what he does.
Good, to be fair.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get this supported from the top and see whether we can make my day any better.
Irreplaceable in England,
Absolutely.
Stupid backwards.
Yeah, just so you're aware, America, when you use imperial bolts or any fittings of any kind on metric cars, it's quite annoying.
or just imperial anything when you send it to England, we got no clue. I mean, what is this? 1/8?
1/8. What is
we
that?
didn't even have those at school.
And we're old.
Yeah. I know, just trying to pull the over. But you know, still, just look at it.
Work of art, even if I can't use it. You know, always thinking about the positives of things. At least you get to see the inside of a daily engineering oil pan. Look at the machine and work in that. That's why these things are money.
Oh, it's a good old lump of metal you have to start with as well, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, current possibilities that we're talking about is rerouting, you know, as required. We could possibly look at deleting one valley, possibly two valleys, and running a pipe like you would on a normal scavenged dry sump system.
And we have got the other problem which we haven't filmed yet as well.
What's the other problem?
The pump's too low.
Yeah, it's slightly too low.
So you can't get the front lower arm bolt in the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the...
It's got no cross member in here at the moment, so you can't really demonstrate it. But
the front lower arm mount is, you need to get a nut on.
Is like rammed in there.
Yeah. So even if we were left-hand drive, we'd still have that problem.
Yeah.
You know.
So we're comfortable with creating a spacer, like a spacer block that basically would space this up away from that nut. Actually what it might do as well, that spacer block, is give us the opportunity to reroute whatever valleys we have to delete off this with a traditional pipe, just some air equip fittings, 90 degree, hopefully, around there, and back to
as far back as we can, I guess.
Yeah, we'll just go somewhere there, and then if it needs that second valley, taking out there. But what we're going to try first, before we do any deleting,
before we do any ruining of that,
of this absolute work of art, we're going to have a look at rotating the steering rack in the cross member. This is only about 30 quid now, because it's the same as
any old E46
M models, yeah. So we can do what we want with this, and if we mess it up, we'll just get another one. But yeah, we're going to take the brackets off. First of all, we're going to put the rack in and measure the centre line, so measure how far the centre line of the rack sits from this face here, because that face is staying. And vertically, we already know where it is as well. Just measure the middle of this, and again, sort of use that as a reference, so that whatever we do with pivoting the rack to change the pinion angle, like dip it down, that the rack stays in exactly the same place, so we're not compromising the suspension or steering as originally planned. Yeah, we'll just have to see whether
let's see how far we can get with mounting a rack today, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. So what was it we were saying, or I was saying, about no compromise?
There wasn't going to be one. I told you that money would fix it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It sort of hasn't.
It really hasn't, has it?
Well, it's just moved it.
So, current plan. What we're going to do is just whip the... if you can hear any squeaking, I'm really sorry. Baxter's here helping today. Hi, Baxter. So yeah, we're going to whip the top mounts off for the rack, take them off the cross member, and then we're going to have a look at whether we can use the...
We'll use the BMW rack if possible.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to be able to use the BMW rack. So, in reserve, we have the FD rack, which we used in the first time we did this conversion, which is an RX-7 FD rack. Look how slim it is. The pinion is... It's basically the rack body is wider, so the pinion is further outboard, which is kind of where we need to be. The concern is that this is angled quite heavily, pointing towards the chassis rail. But I've just offered it up underneath the car, and it looks like it might be an option. So what we're going to do is chop up our cross member here and have a look at what both racks look like underneath the car, with the engine centralised and in its correct place, and see what potential other issues either one would bring, because this one might bring another issue with the dry sump oil pump interference issue there. So we're just going to chuck these off for a start, and then start placing stuff back up and having a look again.
Right.
Hi, welcome to Sadness Part 3. we spent all day chopping up this cross member.
A bit at a time.
Uncompromising the cross member, to use the uncompromised rack.
We knew it all last week.
We didn't, but you know,
we fucking
thought amateur hour over here.
Yeah, we
today,
thought we knew it all last week, and it turned out we didn't know very much.
Yeah. So, so just so you know where we're at. We've levelled the ramp, we've levelled the car, we've levelled the engine. We put the old cross member back on with one of the engine mounts. So we know that the engine is sitting exactly where it was before, and that's longitudinally, horizontally, and uppy downy. I think that's called vertically, isn't it?
Yeah, uppy downy.
So we know that the engine is exactly where it has to be. The interference issue here,
I mean,
I just don't know where to start.
How much cross member we've actually got left, which is like none.
And we've chopped a little bit at a time, then we've chopped a little bit more, and we've ended up with this. I mean, I've no worries about recreating this tubular, start from scratch, whatever, or just boxing this in and reinforcing it so it's strong afterwards. What we're just trying to learn at the moment is, can we get the rack in a position that is helpful? And the answer is yes. We can get the rack exactly where we need to be height wise, which is exactly the same as the standard E46 rack. So height's perfect. Distance from the cross member, which is 75mm from this point to centre line of the rack, we can get it perfect. That's great. Pinion would probably be dealable up here, but the problem is we're having to use this rack, which moves the pinion out further because it's further away from the centre line there. But these fittings are basically
in the sump
there, and they are touching. So even with banjo connector,
it's still too much.
No good.
What we need is a rack with a massive one of these that comes out at the perfect angle.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it might be worth us doing a bit more research on what other rack options we've got, but
it's a real tough one because the sump is the answer to some problems, but a massive misery in other ways.
Yeah, it has. Like, we knew it was going to introduce issues with, like, more work with having to run lines and a tank and stuff like that I didn't really want on a road car. But it's brought in a whole new world of pain that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to deal with. So my old compromised setup, which wasn't that compromised, I was just being picky. I don't know. Currently, right here, right now, having spent all this money, having done all this cutting, and being nowhere near where I need to be with it, I'm just thinking, what was actually wrong with it before? Could we make the way that we did it before with the dropped knuckles, the dropped uprights,
I guess we
dropped rack?
We could square the rack up.
Bump steer was perfect. Square the rack up a little bit. Improve the steering column so that it doesn't go through the chassis rail. Create new headers, which we were going to do anyway.
Oh, I don't know. How do you end this video on a positive?
I can't. But I guess that's the reality of what we're doing here. We're playing big boy games, and you know, we've done this before. It was extremely complicated.
To be fair, everybody that's ever asked about it over the last 10 years, the only answer has been, don't bother, it's not worth it.
So yeah, multiple people have asked me, you know, would we build an E46 M3 V10 for them? First of all, don't work on other people's cars, just our own stupid shit. And
well, Craig's turned many down, multiple down, hasn't he?
To do
He's not interested.
It's so complicated. It's so ridiculously complicated, and things are a lot easier nowadays with the electronic side of things. So you don't have to use the expensive 11 grand's worth of petrol that I've got on this car. But yeah, it's complicated. It's not a positive end to the video.
I know we could end this positively.
Yeah? You're not putting my
RHS engine out. It's living there. It wants to go in there.
You're not putting my LSX in this car. It's staying V10. If that means that we have to go back to the old way of doing things, the way that we built it the first time with some small improvements, then that's what we're going to do. But yeah, thanks for watching. Sorry, it's not particularly positive, but like I say, this is the reality of building cars, extremely complex cars. But yeah, please give us a like, you know, it might cheer me up.
And more importantly, don't be mean. This is not the week to be mean. I've been trying not to be mean all day. It wasn't the day for jokes.
No, it's yeah. Considering we started the day so positively, thinking that we're going to put the sump on, fire the engine in, and start looking at where the engine mounts went.
Yeah.
That was going to be the limit of complexity. It hasn't gone exactly to plan. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
At Driftworks, we've helped over 50,000 happy customers since 2004. Our huge online parts store is simple to use, with superb shipping rates to anywhere in the world, and finance options available for UK customers. We live and breathe wheel fitment, so if you have any questions about your own car or any of our products before placing an order, please drop us an email at shop@driftworks.com or give us a call. Thanks for watching.